Some people go around the world for love, but they may never find what they dream of. I guess you wonder where I've been. I searched to find a love within. I came back to let you know, got a thing for you, I can't let go. My friends wonder what is wrong with me, yeah. Well, I'm in the days from your love, you see. I came back to let you know, got a thing for you, and I can't let go. What you won't do for love. You tried everything, but you don't give up. In my world, only you make me do for love what I would not do. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in the days from your love, you see. I came back to let you know, got a thing for you, and I can't let go. Some people go around the world for love, but they never find what they dream of. What you won't do for love. Tried everything, but you don't give up. In my world, only you make me do for love what I would not do. Make me do for love what I would not do. Make me do for love what I would not do.
Brothers and sisters of the congregation, today's sermon is called Rave in the Wasteland. Now when I say wasteland, I'm not talking about some barren desert, some foreign land. No. I'm talking about that interior wasteland. I'm talking about that place inside where we are most terrified. I'm talking about that place where we are most confused and disillusioned. That place we slip into when our lives fall apart. That place where we least trust God. When I say rave in the wasteland, I'm talking about a new way to be with our adversities, obstacles, and challenges. I'm talking about a new mindset toward these hard times. When I say rave in the wasteland, I'm talking about conjuring the spirit of joy in the face of our greatest difficulty. When I say rave, I'm talking about looking into the eyes of the dragon and say, not today. Brothers and sisters, let us call forth the energies of gratitude and celebration. And I say, my beloveds, let the rave begin.
Good afternoon. Let's do a sound check. Am I good on the sound? Good afternoon. Short show today, so let's get right to it. Let me fix this light if you don't mind. 2 ticks. 2 ticks. Okay. Good afternoon. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Short show today, as I mentioned yesterday, before I ended the program. I think I may have started the program with it as well. Thank you. Sounds we're good. Thank you. Let me make sure we're good on this. YouTube good. Thank you. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Preston. Twitch is good. Thank you, Ronald. Thank you. I appreciate it. As I told you yesterday. Okay. All right. Thank you. We're good on the sound. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it on X. Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I don't want to mess it up. My apologies. I'll thank you, Parker. I got the last name, Parker. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here, tuning in. There's a million places that you can be today. Large internet out there, a lot of different programs, a lot of different platforms. So I appreciate those that are here that want to enjoy what we do over here. I appreciate it, or whatever you contribute. I really appreciate it. Short show today. I got about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. As I mentioned yesterday, my baby is coming home today, my youngest, who is at the University of Belmont University, and I have to pick her up at the airport. So short show today, excuse me. And once again, the fan is blowing, so I'm a little, it's a little breezy in here. Yeah, I'm picking her up from the airport, and I have to get her, I believe, at 4:00. I'm gonna check that schedule again. My oldest daughter is gonna text me here in a minute and let me know exactly what that time is. I haven't heard back from her yet, but I believe it's 4:00. I believe she lands at 3:30. Y'all know the process when you get to the airport. It probably takes about at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes to get to the gate of pickup. You know, once you get through the airport and go to baggage. So it takes a minute. So thank you for being here. I appreciate everybody. I'm going to get straight to what I'm going to talk about today. Couple things before I get to it, though. Couple things in the news. Couple things that might get back to previous conversations we had. I hope it don't veer off, but if it does, well, that's what we do. Sometimes we veer off. But in the news in Cincinnati, there was a groundbreaking or a ribbon cutting. I don't know which one. I believe it was a ribbon cutting. I seen the ribbon cut of the Macy's building downtown Cincinnati. Did anybody see that? I believe it was on Channel 5. The Macy's building in Cincinnati. And we spoke about that a couple years ago. Yeah, I'm one of those people that, you know, I talk about things before they develop, and I kind of see where it's going, and it just don't fit into what's being talked about or spoke on at that time. And I'm saying to myself, that's fine. You know, remember I told you that city council was, I hope this don't come off as a slight, because I'm not really trying to do that. I just love it when things that I say end up being true, but at the time that I say it, I get so much blowback. All right. And it's sometimes, I don't know why this show is developing into 2 years ago, I say it, and now this is the outcome. And then I look bad to some people when in fact, all I'm trying to do is remind you of what I said, because I had to defend what I was saying at that time. And then I come back and what I said seems to be right. And now I look bad because I'm saying some shit that I told you so about. But so many chaos agents was arguing at me and saying some things about me at that time. And it's like, okay, how do I do this, fam? This is my family. We family, right? How do I just continue to do what I'm doing, or do I just pretend like it never happened? Somebody help me out and tell me. Andrea, you right. Saw that. $5,100 a month for a 3-bedroom. You might as well just go buy a house some damn where. The cheapest spot down there is less than 1,000 square feet. What is it, 780 or 796? Or is it 896 square foot? It's less than 1,000 square feet. And the least expensive rent down there is $1,500. And guess what they were talking about? I had to call it out because remember when city council was bigging up and bragging on the fact that it was a minority contractor? And of course, when they said that, here come Wyatt, being the hater that I am of minority businesses, those businesses that I big up all the time. And I had to bring to the attention to my people that the minority contractor who's doing the Macy's build out of $300 million is not us. Who remember that? It's not us. Minority does not necessarily mean black folks. Donna, do you remember those days? Do you remember those conversations? And I believe the lovely Iris Rowley came on the air, and we was talking, and I played the video, and I said, Miss Rowley, I'm gonna be honest with you, sis. This is not us. They're saying these are minority contractors going in to overturn this building to turn it into these nice apartment buildings. And when you start saying minority contractors, you're thinking, what do they call them? Rents. You know what I mean? What are the market rents and stuff like that? When you start talking minority, you think they involving us. Not only were the contractors not us, but how many of us going down there market rent paying $1,500 for a excuse me. How many of us going down there to pay $1,500 for a shoebox? How many of us going down there to pay $1,500 for less than $1,500 for less than 1,000 square feet? And I got the receipts because I played the video and then I looked the company up, who's the contractor. $300 million renovation. And it went to a minority company out of New York who happened to be Pakistani or, you know what I mean? It wasn't us. It wasn't us. But they shielded it. Minority contractors working on this. I even played the clip from Channel 5 or whatever the news station was. Now look where we are. 2 years later, the development is over with. Minimum $1,500 to get in that building for a shoebox. $5,100 for nice view, panoramic view. Who's spending that? How does that fit into minority anything when they selling the fact that this is a minority developer doing this and this and this and that? Y'all remember that? I don't know if I have the video, but daggone it, I sure wish I had it. And I had to show them, I had to bring it up. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I looked the company up. I seen who the CEO was, and I'm looking at the owner of this particular construction company who got the bid. Who put the bid in and got the job. And I'm like, this ain't us. They're out of New York, number one. Number two, they're not even, when you think, and I think us, when we as a unit, when you say minority developer, what are you thinking? Well, I could tell you a few things that I know that are facts. One fact is the minority developer don't always mean black. It can even mean a white person. And we all know, because we didn't finally woke up to the fact that I've been trying to tell you for years that one of my biggest competitors was a minority, and it happened to be a minority. It happened to be a white lady that fell in the category and rolled the backs of that minority status. That was one of my major competitors when I first got in business. And she kicked my ass in bids all the time because she had a husband who was in the same industry with larger trucks, larger machinery, and could outbid me because they could do a higher volume work for less money. Outbidded me every time. Now that building, that big, beautiful Macy's building down there that they sunk $300,000 into, ain't even for us. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I shouldn't say ain't for us, because there's a whole lot of us that can spend $1,500 for a shoebox, can spend $5,000 for a nice panoramic view of the city downtown. But it was the game that came in at the beginning of making us feel, taking our guard down, making us feel like we've accomplished something, we've achieved something in the business sector of the deal. I know. I ain't even gonna look for no apologies, because I know the people that was calling me the coon and all that old shit when I was talking about this. I don't care. I really don't care. Because if the only comeback you got for me is to try to make it about me versus what I'm talking about, that's where I'm at with it now. Y'all didn't heard me say this 3 or 4 times. If it's about me versus what I'm talking about, then that means you don't know what you're talking about. Because if you could tell me what I'm saying is wrong, you would be more focused on making your point of what I'm talking about versus making your point on me. They have 20 units already booked out. Now, I would probably guess there's probably some black folks down there or some other minorities going down there spending $2,500, $3,000 somewhere. I bet you out of that 20, let's take a survey. Let's do a hypothetical. Let's do a I'm just gonna guess for the hell of it survey. Y'all know I don't really like to do that, but let's just do it with the Wyatt Live family one time. Out of the 20 units that they've already, and I believe there's probably, I'm gonna say somewhere in the realms of about 70, 75 units. I could be wrong. Could be more than that. I don't know. They're gonna have to chop some of them 5,000 ones in half. I guarantee you that shit. But I'm just gonna ask you this. Out of the units that they've already leased, the 20 that they've already leased, how many do you think are us? Look like me and you and I. How many of you think is us? Now, like I said, I know some brothers, I know some sisters that could do that money. But to be honest with you, I don't know if that type of money, that type of deal for a building downtown Cincinnati makes sense to us. Because most brothers and sisters that can afford to pay that know better things to do with their money. Because they got to qualify. You got to, on paper, you have to qualify. You have to be able to show 5,100 a month ain't shit. They want to make sure your debt to income ratio is minimum 30%. Anything over 30%, that's your ass. You ain't getting in. Because they're going to have doormen, they're going to have private parking, everything, and they're going to make sure they keep all the riffraff totally out. Now, if you Jamar Chase is somebody that just signed a deal making $40 million a year, that's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. But how many Jamar Chases do we have walking around Cincinnati? Shout out to Jamar Chase. I'm glad he got his money. I'm glad he got his money. Maybe T. Higgins and Jamar Chase picked up a unit or two. I don't know. But the average Joe Blow Smo that's out here grinding to get their money right and out here working it, nah. For $5,000, I can get a high rise. I'm just being honest. For $5,100 a month, I can go buy a property. I can damn near get an $800,000-$900,000 property. Rates a little high right now. Would I rather have a unit downtown for $5,100, or would I rather go get me a unit, a high-rise unit in the city, and charge $1,500 a month for a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom and have 20 units in the building, 30 units in a building? What makes financial sense to us? Tiffany Daniels, what's up? I know she's in the real estate game. I seen one. You know what? They didn't show the $1,500 one. They showed the $5,000, the $5,100 one a month, because it has everything that's going to make you go down there and want one. Panoramic view. My sunroof is a panoramic view. You know what I'm saying? That means you can look up, for those that don't know, I'm just saying, you can look up and you don't see any ceiling. You just see outside. And it's a beautiful sight at nighttime because the stars are out, moon might be out. You can see everything. It's a nice view. So imagine having a panoramic view of the city of Cincinnati. It's going to cost you, but this ain't even about that. I just want those that don't watch anymore, because they still watching. But the ones that don't watch anymore, who was giving me a hard time about me going in because they talking about minority contractors doing it, and I had a problem with it. They didn't care what facts I brought to the table about these minority contractors. They didn't care. It's just that Wyatt over there talking about minority contractors, and he bitching and complaining. Shit, we can't have nothing. We can't do nothing without him tearing it down, acting like we ain't getting nothing. You're not. Damn it, you're not. And I get tired of being played. The truth of the matter is, I brought some facts to the table about who the minority contractors were. And the beautiful, listen, Iris Rowley, who on it, she seen it on the show. She was like, oh, I didn't know that. She didn't argue it. She didn't say anything crazy. She was like, wow, I really didn't know. Because she probably thought the same thing that all of us, most of us thought. And that is, well, the city said a minority contractor is doing the work in the Macy's building. And who did they use? They used the black, I think, what's her name? The vice mayor. They used her on Channel 9 to make the presentation of what was going on and blah, blah, blah. And we got minority contractors. And when you put black faces with these type of conversations, you assume that it's going to be a black contractor coming in and that these are going to be affordable rent units, or it's going to be affordable. $1,500 for less than 1,000 square feet. You can't use the bathroom in that unit and not smell it from the front door to the back door. Ain't no back door, but you know what I'm saying, to the back wall. You can't flush the toilet without hearing it in every room or every wall in the 756 square feet. Come on now. 1,500. Come on now. Come on now. I'm only bringing it up because when I brought it up the first time, y'all barked at me. He don't know. No matter what I brought to the table to show you what it was, no matter what evidence I brought, showed you a picture of the guy. I wish I still had it. If you give me 10 seconds, let me just see if I have the video. And I don't even remember what I named it. So chances are I probably won't find it. But just for the hell of it, let me see if I have it under maybe Macy's building. I don't know. Let's just see. Just my luck, I won't have none of it. This is why I need to do a better job. I had no anticipation that I would be here 5 years. I had no anticipation. I've done a horrible job at labeling my shows and the content that we have here. I've done a horrible job of being able to go back and cross-reference what I've said and what I've done. I didn't think I would be here for 5 years. I'll be honest with you. So not having any experience, like I said, I can't find it. Let me see if I have it under city council. And I know we have a short show today, folks, so I'm sitting here. I tell you what I'll do. What I'll do is I'll go back and cross-reference. I'll try to find the video and probably try to show it to you tomorrow. Because since we're having a short show today, I don't want to sit here and mumble and try to find this video and just kind of be side talking at the same time. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. But some of you, I don't even need to show the video to because you were here that day 2 years ago. You were here. You heard it. Donna said she was here. She probably was. I'm taking her word for it. But yes, we had that conversation. And it turned out to be exactly what I told you. And that was, they're not minorities. They are, but they're not us who got the contract. And how much are the rents going to be and how many minorities are going to be able to afford what they're building down there? Is that for us? Is that us? Twin says, I remember. Okay. I would be a fool to be on live and not be able to produce receipts. And I promise you, I'll bring those receipts to the table. I promise you. Now, another thing. Oh, let me give a congratulations. I can't find it right now, Angela Kinney. And Angela Kinney, for the record, I'm trying to figure out the stock club problem. I don't know why I can't send you the invite. It keeps sending the same invite that you gotten already. But for some odd reason, what I'm going to have to do, just for the record, 5 seconds, let me say this. Everyone that's involved in the stock club, I am going to have to delete the group and redo it. I don't know if something happened where it's not working properly. I tell you what, it's probably working properly. I just don't know how to work what I've categorized it as. I don't know how to do what I do in Wyatt Live Messenger group. I think it may be set up differently. So what I'm going to have to do, folks, is I'm going to have to go in and delete that group and then resend everybody that was in that group a new invite. So is that fair? Because I don't know what's wrong with the Wyatt Live Stock Club. I don't know what's wrong with it. I can't send out invites. And when I do, it says an invite's been sent, and then it sends you to some type of, I don't even know what's going on. Deanna, did you see we added you to the Wyatt Live Messenger group? I did get your request. And I don't know what it was. It didn't show that you responded or anything, but I hope you received the invite or whatever you might get. It looked like it added you automatically. So I didn't want anybody to think that I just, like I don't respond or I don't see the messages. I do. She said, I want to be added in the stock club. I got the mixed up with the Wyatt Messenger group. Oh, okay. Okay, got it. She said, I did. Thank you. Okay, stay in both. When I redo the stock club, that, I'll send you that one as well, Deanna, you and Angela Kinney. I promise you. You'll be the first on the list that I resend the new list out to. Have someone else send invite link. For the club, the stock club. Okay, Shaba, I got you. I got you. Brenda, I got you. Man, I'm going to have to go back over this show and put these folks on the list, okay? I promise you. Let's be fair about this. If I miss someone, as you see, it's starting to get a little thick in the request. If I miss you, please don't take it personal. Just remind me again. I'm getting up in age. I got a few things going on in life where I can't remember everything, okay? So please remind me if I missed you. Yeah, there's Carolyn Smith. I got you. My request has been pending for 5 months. See what I'm saying? Why won't it accept? You know what I'm saying? I've sent it so many times, Angela. I've sent it so many times, and I don't understand. I don't know why it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I don't get it. So what I'm going to do is reboot it. I'm just going to take that one down. It's not like there's activity going on. No one's missing anything. But let me just say this for the record. Everybody in the stock club, we're going to restart it, and you have to have $50. Okay? This is not, and it's not my $50. I don't have access to your account. This is $50 that we're going to all start together and buy stocks in slices. It's called slices. So we are going to, we're going to start off slow. And if you want to be a Bambi and get up and run on your own one day, feel free to do so. All right, please, because that's the purpose of it. We're going to have fun and we're going to make money having fun. Okay. Tracy Dillingham, what's up, sis? She said you needed an admin. We did. I was the admin. And for some odd reason, maybe I'm sure I did something wrong. I did the same thing that we did in Wyatt Live Messenger group. I don't understand what's going on. Fame says I reminded the dude 4 times this is lies and false propaganda. Moving on. For those that are in the stock club already, you got your invites. We just haven't had any activity because I haven't been able to function the stock club messenger group like I can the Wyatt Live Messenger group. But in the Wyatt Live Messenger group, I have made recommendations of certain stocks and certain things that we could do. I'm not a certified stock agent or nothing like that. Okay, I'm not that at all. I'm just a regular dude that does his own homework and research. That's it. Crystal Hawkins says, add my name again, Wyatt. Okay, no problem. I got you. Tracy said, I never got added. Tracy, your name was one of those that I kept sending invites to. Trust me, I could show you guys on the screen, and it's just that I don't know what's going on with that particular messenger group, so I'm going to have to reboot it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and I promise to do so. Just give me a few days. You know, today's a short show, and I'm going straight from the show to pick my daughter up at the airport. So if you're ready to maybe do something, and you know what, this is a great time to buy. This is a great time to get in now, because with the market being where it is, I'm going to look like a hero. I promise you. I'm going to look like a hero because I took my losses. In the last couple of weeks. It's been rough. Let me get on. We're not going to talk stock and all that right now. So let me give a congratulations to someone that's in the news right now. I want to congratulate Cincinnati's very own Larry Donald, heavyweight champion, a boxer, a fighter out of the streets of Cincinnati. Wasn't really a street dude, but how the hell you that decent with the hands and you ain't really had to go through the trenches? Yeah, Larry Donald, congratulations. He had a street named after him in Avondale. I think he's from Avondale, so he was out there in them streets some kind of way. So shout out to Larry Donald, y'all. Shout out to Larry Donald getting a street named after him. Shout out to Cincinnati City Council for allowing that to happen for someone that was on such a large stage and represented Cincinnati to the fullest. He was never in the streets getting in trouble. He wasn't on the national media, and he wasn't doing any of that stuff to represent the city of Cincinnati in a bad way. He wasn't any of that. So we should be happy that this guy represented the city of Cincinnati the way he did. And I want to congratulate him once again for getting a street named after him in the city of Cincinnati, in the neighborhood of Avondale. So shout out to Larry Donald, man. Good guy, humble guy. You know what I mean? Humble guy. And he beat one of the best fighters in the world. He beat Holyfield. My daughter just texted and said, I'm at the airport. She better be talking about Nashville airport, because if she at the one that I'm picking her up at, it's a wrap for right now. She's going to be there for a minute. If she say, Daddy, I'm here, that's different. But I'm assuming she's probably, because the flight is only an hour. It's only 45 minutes to an hour. Stephanie High said, Larry Donald, fellow classmate, congratulations, LD. That's big stuff, man. I'm sure one day they're going to make a street. They're going to make a Wyatt Avenue. I don't know what I'm going to have to do to get that. It sure in the hell ain't going to be on no podcast. I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to have to do something in the city of Cincinnati that's going to make them name a street after me. It has to be something big and good. This podcast shit ain't it. I promise you. It's going to have to be something. But shout out to Larry Donald, man, once again. Getting a street named after you in your hometown is big stuff, especially in your neighborhood. All right? Like Mike Stafford, world-class trainer out of Cincinnati. He was named. He had a street named after him up in the Fay Apartments. I'm getting jealous. I'm gonna have to do me some something. I'm gonna have to do me some something to get a street name after me. But I'm wondering where the hell they would put it. Can they rename John Street? I brag on John Street all day. I brag on Cincinnati. I brag on John Street. Cincinnati is my hometown, and I love it. Cincinnati ain't never done anything to me to make me be ashamed of being from Cincinnati it's just never done anything to me. Just being honest with you. I mean, I hear more people who ain't never been nowhere complain about Cincinnati than I hear about people from other places who's been to Cincinnati. They don't say nothing bad about Cincinnati, except some people from Indianapolis who come into the city to do some shit, to boost, to steal some shit, to sell drugs or something. Yeah, they got plenty shit to say about Cincinnati. I heard somebody say One time, I heard somebody say, boy, you go to Cincinnati on vacation and you go home on probation. I'm just saying. I had a guy tell me from Indianapolis, like, boy, he was from Chicago, matter of fact. That's what they say about Cincinnati and Chicago. You can go to Chicago, you can go to Cincinnati, and you could go on vacation and leave on probation. I've heard that a few times. That's the only thing and that was in joking, you know what I'm saying? That's for the people that was going there to do some dirt. You understand? So, I take everybody for what they worth. If you a crook and you think you going to Cincinnati, don't say nothing bad when you get in trouble. Don't say nothing bad. Now, I was talking to a buddy of mine today, and he said some shit I ain't heard in 20, 25 years about Cincinnati. Y'all want me to say? Let me run it by you. Some might appreciate this. I'm not knocking my city. I'm not knocking my city. I still, if I could find a Cincinnati Red starter jacket from the 80s, I'd wear it. Can't find one. That's how Cincinnati I am. But I heard a dude tell me today, one of my buddies, he was like, boy, Cincinnati is, he said, Cincinnati, y'all know, it's, let me start over. He called my hometown Cincinnati, Ohio. I know I'm the only one laughing right now because shit ain't really funny. But it was the contest. It was how we were talking. And he was like, oh yeah, Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm like, bro, I ain't heard that shit in probably 25, 30 years. I haven't heard that term in a long time. He was like, yeah, man, you know how they say about Cincinnati, it's slow. He was like, it's slow. I was like, well, I ain't, you lucky you from Cincinnati, because if you wasn't, we'd be going at it right now. We'd be going at it right now. But the truth of the matter is we are a little slow. That's why little shit like fake ass minority contractors coming to the city and they put that little slow shit out there in front of you real fast. They put it out there real fast, hit you with this and move on, and your ass still in slow Ohio. And you still trying to figure out what's going on. Then you get a guy like me who didn't seen these games in other cities. I bring you the information and say, hey, guess what? These minority contractors, they not us. But you know what? You would jump up and down and scream and do the dance. What's that shit? Kendrick Lamar's? They not like us. They not like us. Who you talking about? Because I didn't see you get duped and looped, and that minority contractor shit then duped and looped and played you. And you steady sitting there talking about they not like us. They not like us. You right. But you might want to know who they are. You might want to know who they are before you get caught up into the song and dance and all that. I mean, that's what they do. They get you dancing. They get you dancing and get these little fancy ass terminologies to you and get you all off mark of what you should be doing and what you really should be paying attention to. Then you get theme songs every time. And them theme songs rock your ass to sleep. You do know music is important to movements. Yeah, they take your ass in church. You know, there's a reason why the pastor looked to the choir, Rufus over there, and tell his ass, he wink at him when it's time to pass the plate. When it's time to pass the plate, what do? Preacher say something real exciting, and the organ man is already going with the curl and all that old shit. He going, and he getting the crowd into it. He pump it up. And once they pump you up, the choir get to going. And when the choir gets you in your mood, that's when the plates start moving around. That's when it's time to give the offerings. They got you. They absolutely got you. Been going on for years. Oh, man. Let me go to the phone line real fast. Let me see if it's my phone. Yeah, I think yeah, it is. Let me go. Tanika said it's marching music, Wyatt. Yeah, it is. You right. March that money right on in here. Let me go to the phone lines real fast if you guys don't mind. We're short on time, so we're going to get in as much as we can. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Fame, Ralph.
Hey, Fame. How you doing today?
I'm outstanding. How are you?
I'm holding on with both hands, brother. What's happening? Are you eating right now?
I didn't hear you.
Are you eating?
No, why you say that?
Oh, it just sounded like you was like eating. There might be some static in the back of the phone or something.
Okay.
All right, what's on your mind?
Nothing. I just want to talk about something I heard on, daytime radio today.
Okay.
Black station.
Okay.
Maybe you were right. They is on some old folk bullshit.
Oh. Let me have you tell it. Go ahead.
What's her name? Alice. What's her name? Alice Rowley. Iris Rowley.
Okay.
Not necessarily one of my favorites, and I call her out from time to time. But today, I got to give her some props for actually protecting children.
Okay.
They were talking about, talking with the youth and whatnot, and some old burnt out Negro called in, talking about some, I tried to work with them, and they told me that, I couldn't use cursing and blah, 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 that type of language around the kids. And so I said, well, give me a program where I can talk to them like that, because I need to talk to them the way they talk, blah, blah, blah. And a gentleman from this program, the guy Eugene, he called in and agreed with that bullshit. And I would just like to say you're both out of your goddamn minds.
I agree with that.
What the hell we doing talking to kids all strong and effed up like that?
Hey,
cursing
Fame,
at them.
do you remember? Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut into it, but I'll forget. Like I said, I'm getting older, but I'm gonna address that point and then you continue, okay? Look,
yeah.
Do you remember me saying on the air that like when people like when you talk to kids, like I don't know how to say this without sounding like aggressive or some shit. Like I'm not trying to be aggressive. Do you remember when I told you when I came on the air one time and I was like, I have a problem with people being down there, but I don't have a problem with them with the attempt, with the effort. I said, you got to be careful who you send down there dealing with them kids. Do you remember that? And I was like, I wouldn't want to be one of them one of them grown men that's got down there and a fight break out, and now I'm involved in the fight, and I'm out here treating them kids the way what you just described a grown-ass man is going to be doing with these kids, and now I'm in a fight, and there's some liability and all that stuff involved in here. I was scared for the people that's going down there dealing with them kids, more so than people took it for some hate. Like, they thought I was hating on the fact that people was going down there trying to help, when in fact, I get taken out of context a lot. When in fact, what I was really saying is, bro, that's a serious liability, because if I go down there, I got to worry about one of these dudes punching me in the face because they ain't used to a man talking to them, or they not used to, somebody saying certain things to them. Or if I'm an aggressive adult and I have the attitude of the guy that you just described, how is that going to work out? How's a 15-year-old kid who ain't used to a man in his face going to react when a guy that's just what you just said, when he come at them crazy like that? Some of these kids don't care. They will swing first.
They absolutely will. I mean, Iris, she did say, if the kid's coming from a bad situation at home, and that's what he hears all day, you talking to him like that ain't gonna help him. She's 100% right. She's 100% right about that. But at the same time, these have you not always heard me be the number one advocate for children on this program in your group? To the fact where I call people out and tell them, like, y'all don't like kids.
Well, to the point also that I felt
yes or no, no qualification, yes or no.
No. I'm saying and to the point, to the point, I've also felt like that you've defended the kids extremely, like a little too far sometimes.
Yeah, because I truly believe that Black kids are treated extremely. They're the only kids where they're expected to be adults by 12 years old, and then 2, all things are available.
Wait a minute. You said they're treated like adults? Excuse me. You said there's treated like adults by two.
Only black kids are expected to be fully polished adults by the age of middle school.
Oh, middle school. I don't know about that.
Old. Yes.
I don't know about that.
Yes, you expect black kids, but do you pay attention to your group? Listen to the bullshit they be spending there. They hate kids. 9 out of 10 of the people in that group hate children.
I don't know about
nobody
that, bro.
says.
I don't know about that.
They hate kids. They will shit on them all day. These kids ain't shit. These kids ain't blah. These kids ain't blah. That's all they do.
But Fame, do you really think they're talking about all kids, or maybe they're talking about the kids that are trouble?
They shouldn't say one bad word about them if you're loving and graceful. They're kids. They don't know any better.
I think, and I agree. I think kids are what they're raised to be. In most cases, not in all. But like yesterday, somebody asked me a question. I don't know if you were watching the show yesterday, but if so, you might want to go back and watch it. I came in a whole different defense of children. Somebody asked me, should kids do life or be able to get out of jail because they did something? And I believe that kids, more so than an adult, could be rehabbed. Could be rehabbed. I don't think a 15-year-old who does something should go to jail for the rest of their life because they haven't even had an opportunity to be something or be rehabbed or to be a good person. It all depends on how they were raised.
And here's the thing. It's even worse when it comes to specifically black males. Everything's fair game to black males. These people don't know. They thinking they're talking to kids all strong. That's how I was talk. That's how I was talked to. Blah, blah, blah. I'm fine, blah, blah. No, the fuck you ain't. No, you're not fine. You're not making the kids harder. You're making them hardened. It's a big difference.
Yeah,
that's how you got all these aggressive kids out here now because they got cussed at, slapped in the face, talked too strong by the adults that they look for guidance.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. I've always said we don't have bad kids. We have bad parents. That's not in all cases. Nothing that you say, nothing that I say is in all cases. But if you want to say majority rules, in most cases, these kids are coming from bad homes. All right. And let me say something what I heard because somebody tagged me. I'm going to be honest and tell you. I don't have a problem with Scotty. Scotty, look, my first encounter with Scotty, he won't remember this because he didn't know me. I wasn't a bad kid out on the street like that. But my first encounter with Scotty was not a very good one. So I don't want to sound like I'm like hating on him or anything. My first encounter with Scotty, he was a rookie and his area was downtown in Laurel Homes. And, he had to be tough. Okay. He was probably something that a lot of us didn't see, which was an authoritarian black man in our community. I'm not mad at him looking back on what position he was in back when we were children. But I heard him today when he was talking about the gambling and stuff. I was going to talk about this today, the gambling and stuff at the Pee Wee football games and stuff. Let me say this. I respect him and I respect what he's talking about, but he let me down. And let me tell you how he let me down. And I hope somebody tell him. I have had a problem with politicians coming to the forefront and speaking to the community and saying everything other than what, Fame? Mamas and daddies. He put it on coaches. He put it on the community. He put it on everybody that's supposed to be prevalent in this kid's life. But not one time do these politicians say the one specific thing that would settle me down. And I wouldn't say anything after they said what they said. I had never heard any of them say they mamas and they daddies need to be in their life better. They need a better home life. It's always once they walk out to the world, that's when city council members and politicians want to put it on everybody out here. That means the community. It is not up to the community to raise your child. It's up to the parent to raise the child that walks out to a community that can oversee a well-respected child. The community don't raise your child. Now, you got to keep in mind, I'm not trying to take that out of pocket, because Mama Birch and all of them had a special spot in raising us, right, as a community. But my mama sent me out there the right way. That's what made Mama Birch able to come grab me by the collar and take my ass home when I was out of pocket. But you see,
okay.
can a parent do that now? Can another parent somewhere, if you live on Williamsburg and you go down on Sunset in the Fay apartment, do you think a parent that live on Williamsburg and her kid go down the street on Circleville and that mama down on Circleville gonna walk that kid up the way Williamsburg by the ear and whooping his ass on his way home? Them mamas gonna fight. In 2025, they gonna fight.
Well, yeah, they gonna fight. They was gonna fight anyway because they were talking shit about each other all the time anyway. They're just a bunch of catty ass assholes. However, you were fine till about a minute ago. You know, we were cool. You know, I was gonna agree with you. Like, hey, we agreed. There's nothing to talk about. I was gonna get off the phone, but you went kind of elongated.
What did I say, man? Point. What did I
because
say?
Because Faye Rothstein ain't gonna never advocate putting hands on kids. I don't care how you do it.
I don't
Snatching
either.
them up, taking them home. You know, whatever.
I don't either.
And you kind of you kind of intimated that you know,
well,
like
listen,
you know, we need to beat the black.
No,
we need to beat the black off of these kids again, intimidate them, and keep them scared.
Never said anything like that. I didn't even imply it. But let me tell you, I just told you a situation that happened to me, and I'm telling you, and maybe you have a point. Maybe it sound like that's what we need today is what we went through. No, I didn't necessarily mean it that way. I just meant the fact that parents take the accountability away from other parents. They don't have that same unity that they had back in our day. It don't even have to be grabbing the kid by the ear and walking them home and spanking them on the way home. I'm an advocate for not spanking children. But keep in mind, bro, I had daughters. So I never fight with anybody or argue when they say, well, I just whoop my kid's ass and blah, blah, blah. Fame, my argument is this to anybody that whoop their kids. I said, I got whoopings as a kid. I got plenty of whoopings as a kid. So if whoopings really worked, I would have only had one whooping in my life. But whoopings don't work. They just make you slick. They just make you try to not get caught. You see what I'm saying? So I don't advocate. Absolutely. I don't advocate for whoopings. Never whoop my children. But it's not fair for me to say that I'm better or anything because I ain't never whooped no kids because I got girls. Girls are a little bit different than boys. All right? They're a little bit to fathers. If you a father, if you whooping your daughter, you got to be careful because you are making it seem like a man should be putting hands on a girl and it's acceptable when it's not.
Oh, yeah. Just like we see those videos of these dads whooping their daughters because they being fast on Instagram or whatever. It's like, dude, why are you humiliating them, giving them a videotaped ass whooping? You know, you ain't making things better doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So okay, well, we gonna leave it there and you know and come to an agreement. You know, make the fans happy and shit because they be thinking I'd be like trying to bully you and take you over.
Bro.
You know, some of these people ain't very bright. I ain't gonna say no names. They know who they are.
Let's get it straight right now. I haven't been bullied since the 3rd grade.
Talk that shit. Talk that shit, LL.
I'm just saying. I haven't been bullied by the 3rd grade. I might let some people jump off they little funky on the air sometimes and not say anything because it lead to arguments and unnecessary conversations. I just don't go that route. But, you know, I usually get mine in where I fit in sometimes. So, Fame, don't forget I still owe you 1 or 2.
I ain't owe me shit. I ain't do nothing.
Okay.
Anyway.
Hey, let it. All right. I'm glad you don't feel like I owe you. So when I get you, it's going to hurt even more. I promise you.
No, it's just going to be like, oh, really? We went there? You know, I more likely didn't deserve that.
All right.
So that's what I say you plotting. That's the shit I be talking about.
You're right, bro. You're right.
You're plotting. You're right. Some type of I didn't slice
and
you.
You're right. I don't do nothing. You right, bro. Just keep on going how you going, bro. You right, man. I'm tripping right now. I'm tripping. Okay. Yeah. What else you got, Fame? Anything? Oh, wait a minute. Let me ask you. Did you hear?
Hold on, let me say this about the kid gambling.
Go ahead.
Scotty's grandstanding. That phenomenon's been going on since
you beat me to it.
The mayor's personal bodyguard.
You beat me to it. You beat me to it. You know what? Did it not sound like some out of touch people? Now you and I both know you a referee of them games. You probably won't even go ref any of those games. But now let me.
No, I don't do the.
I wouldn't either.
I'm out of the Negro League. Now, what? Somebody say something. You meet me at Copeland Park.
Bruh,
I don't do the Negro League.
Bruh, I am not putting my name on any bowls and all that old shit. When you don't need the police out there, you need the National Guard. I ain't putting my business company name on none of that. Because the bottom line is these folks knew that this been going on, and they want to act brand new like this shit is like just getting started. They've been doing this gambling and fighting and shooting all this shit for years at these organizations. Not all of the organizations are bad, but everybody know the bad ones. And here's the problem. Y'all want to put it all on the kids when we know that the dudes come smoking and drinking and the girls lighting up, blazing up, and that's their son out there. My baby number 32.
Right.
And you got people out there fighting and arguing, break his leg. That's what causes the conflict. Look, it's a kid playing football, basketball. They may fight on the field. It's a contact sport. They're going to get into it. But they ain't bringing no damn guns and shit out on the 30-yard line. This shit is happening amongst the dirty ass, dusty ass fans, adults. And that comes from those people not being raised right.
Right.
That comes from the dude that's betting $2,000-$3,000. Do you think that boy
loses?
Yeah, bruh. Easy question.
He's going home.
Easy question.
He loses. He's going home. He cussing out his girl. He cussing out his son, calling him soft. And now we have a hardened child.
And here's the thing, Fame, because I know you in the betting world as well. But let's just go to the betting world of the street shit one time. How many of y'all, by the show of hands, think a dude who go to work every day, get up and work every day, is out betting $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a little league football game?
No.
It ain't happening. These are street dudes doing street shit, bringing it to our children. And here's the problem. The people that talk about it, who can do something about it, they won't present it to you that way. Because I don't know why they scared to say something about parents. Have you ever heard them blame the parents? We all know who the culprit is here. It's the parents. The parents are raising these kids to do what they do. They might not say, hey, son, this is how you shoot a gun. But if you don't pay attention that your son even has a gun, you might as well just be putting a gun in their hand. If you're not engaged in your kid's life, what is so hard about this, man? Do you see this same behavior going on in little league football games outside of the city? You don't. Do you ever go to a road game? Y'all ever played a team out in Mason, Ohio? Your team get in a bus or a truck or whatever, and you take your kids out to Mason or Westchester, and the Westchester crowd across the field is over smoking weed, drinking 40s and shit, gambling, shooting dice on the sideline over there. Have you ever gone and seen that? They selling hot dogs. They eating popcorn. Right. They putting up umbrellas and tents and trying to enjoy their children. Meanwhile, we got to worry about what's going on inside the gates and outside the gates. And we always want to talk about them. They not like us. They not like you. Damn right. They look at the shit that our children are being traumatized by, bro. And you expect them to grow up decent.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Exactly. Get out of here with this bull. That's bullshit. Come on, get out of here.
Hey, so props to Iris. Probably the first time I've agreed with her wholeheartedly.
I missed
in probably
that.
6 or 7 years.
I missed that.
So shout out to her and shout out to you. Probably the first time I've agreed with you wholeheartedly in probably the last
well, you're gonna
months,
have to do better with yourself, bro, because you didn't shout it out two people that at least speak some truth. And now you starting to come around.
70-80% of the time, not all the time. Like a lot of times it be some bullshit.
Oh, Emmanuel Livingston is here. What's up, E? He said, I lived in Fairfield and they bet on youth football too. That's because Fairfield ghetto as hell too. Fairfield is hood as hell. Bro, was that a bar? Yeah. Are you suggesting that Fairfield is some shit?
Bars? Fairfield nigga town. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You mean Fairfield, Hamilton? I mean Fairfield, Middletown? Is that what you suggest?
This though. Pound for pound, Fairfield got the best mom game.
Okay, I don't know. I can't fight that. I don't know. Moms. I'm gonna leave that for y'all.
Fairfield might have the best moms in all of Cincinnati Youth Little League.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that to the fellas.
I can keep going on and tell you what's going on, but it's a short day. I want to let some other people in.
I appreciate it.
But it's been real.
Yeah, you getting better.
I had fun.
You starting to understand. You opening up. You getting better. I appreciate you. You starting to understand. You starting to listen more. I thank you for that.
Well, I haven't opened up. I just, like I say, I am the camera of Cincinnati.
Okay.
I blow up the negative so that people can see the bigger picture. So you're starting to see the bigger picture.
So you from Cincinnati, Ohio?
Yeah. Okay, if they want to call it that, I don't take I don't take well to slice to Cincinnati.
I don't either. It's a joke. It was a joke. It was a guy from
Yeah, I know it
Cincinnati
was.
that said that. I was
You should have cut the nigga off. But hey, anyway, still recovering from the full moon from the other day, but I'll holler.
All right, brother. Talk to you. Thanks for engaging with us, Fame. That was Fame. Fame Rothstein from Cincinnati. Appreciate you calling in. He finally got him some sense and he agreed. He finally agreed to some stuff that was going on. Let me go straight to the phone line again because we on a short day. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Wyatt? This is CK, Cincinnati King, calling in from Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's King. What's good with you, brother? How you feeling?
Hey, man, you're having a great show. I like when you touched on the subject of bullying, and you said you haven't been bullied since a young lad.
Yes.
How old are we talking, sir?
I don't know. Maybe the 3rd grade.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't do good with bullies, bro. I don't do good with bullies. Now, I've come to the aid. I've come to the rescue, if you want to call it that, or the aid of some guys that's been bullied before. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't do good with bullies. Like, I don't like guys that bully people.
And you're the worst guy to bully because me being a bullier, like you said, you got a nice personality. So sometimes we take kindness for weakness, which can lead to a severe ass whooping.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, some people don't even understand the different levels of bullying. Everybody think bullying is something physical when bullying could be, it could be an intimidation thing mentally.
Yeah, I knew it because with your personality, talking on the phone with you a few times, I've heard, I see you get defensive of me bullying you, but I wasn't bullying, so I had to assess. But I know that's part of your character, part of your nature. You know what I mean? You're quick to defend if you think you're being like, oh, is he trying to sucker me? Like you one of them.
Well, I think I get more offended when people say things or say some slight stuff and they think I don't get it or they think they put one past me. I think that the words don't really bother me. I've been called names my whole life because of where we from. That don't bother me at all. I get tired of people's tactics though, their antics, the things that they think they getting by and they think you don't get it. I think I get offended by that.
I did some bullying so severe, so bad as a child that it made me reform.
Oh yeah, Wyatt. you got your ass kicked, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was a foreigner. You know what I mean? It was. Oh, you see what I mean? So it was so. Yeah. I probably should have been put down as a child.
Yeah.
With my belief system, because I don't believe in bullying, and I did what I don't believe in. So looking back at it now, I feel ashamed. Wyatt.
That's super big of you, CK. Can I say something to you about that on that point?
Tell me. I need this. Give me.
No, this is a true story. It's a 2020, 24, 25 story, maybe even 23. I got a little cousin. Actually, he's a little nephew, but he's like this is through marriage, right? So I'm not gonna say any names or anything. I'm just gonna say what the family member, what the relative is. When they call him trouble because he liked to put hands on kids, but he watched different things on TV, right? Like when you watch wrestling and stuff like that, sometimes these kids interpret it as that's their fun and they go to school and they do the things that they see, like what the impressions on TV that they pick up.
Yes.
Sometimes
I've seen it.
Yeah, sometimes they do that stuff, right? And when they do that, they take it somewhere and then they're labeled troubled kids because they continue to do it because maybe the parent isn't checking it the right way. And when the school finally get called into the situation and the parents are now brought into the school, the kid is not disciplined properly, all right, by the parent. And the kid may be kicked out of a couple schools or whatever. Now he has this stigma, he has this label of being difficult. And my solution, and I know this ain't gonna fit in with a lot of people, but if you're 5 or 6 years old and you bullying kids physically, built bullying kids, not not manipulatively, physically bullying kids. I told my family member, well, I didn't tell them directly. I told my wife to tell them because I really wanted it to slide through her because that's her side of the family. I said, well, what y'all need to do is send this little ass down to the neighborhood house let him get around some kids that do the same shit that he do and see if he make it out of there and still have the same feelings and same, reactions to things, and see if he will stay a bully when you put him in a bully's room. You know
Hold
what I'm
on,
saying?
what the neighborhood house is, Wyatt? What is the neighborhood house?
Neighborhood
What
house
that
is
is?
downtown. They got the boxing and all. They got some.
Oh, yeah.
They got
You're
some
right.
programs down
You're
there.
right.
I could have said Golden Gloves or something like that. Put him in an environment where he can't jump off that bullying shit, because if he try it, he gonna get a different reaction from some kids that don't play that. But when you putting him in these soft ass daycares and these soft ass schools, and he's not being checked for his actions by his peers, your peers will check you a lot better sometime than the school or their parents.
Hold on, Wyatt.
What's
Hold
that?
on and stay on that. Your peers, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because bullying, sir. Have you ever talked a person out of homicide? Have you ever talked a person out of murder, Mr. Wyatt?
Not that I know of.
I have. And you can do it to your peers, but you must be, peers is this, and you tell me if you agree. 10 years senior or junior. So a 36-year-old could be a peer to a 46-year-old, and a 56-year-old could be a peer to 46.
I don't know.
Would you agree?
Okay, what's the age groups again?
If you're 46 years old, Mr. Wyatt, your peer is 36 and 56.
I don't know.
We got 20 years. Know. That's too much of a gap I'm giving.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think. Look, I don't think the people that I looked up to when I was a kid or a young man, like when I was 25, my best friend, not my best friend, but my mentor was already 50 years old. So we're not peers. It all depends on what your circles are.
Hold up, at 25, look at the people that was 33 looking up to you. That's my point, sir. 33 looking up to you. You forgot. You had people older than you looking up to you. He going to college.
Maybe so, but okay, maybe so. But what's your point? I mean, what are you saying?
My point is, these people in these age groups, they can talk you out of homicidal thoughts. Because when you have a peer talking to you, say, Wyatt, you lost a loved one, and you come to me with blood in your heart, ready to murder. Me being a gentleman and being your peer, I'm younger than you, but I still could talk some sense into you because you're raised and you're emotional. So I could talk to you like a man and say, look, brother, you don't even know who did this. You're not the police. Let's do some investigation, find out. You need to calm down, brother. So what you're going to tell me is, what if that was your son? What you going to do? That's what you're going to say. And I'm going to say to you, I wish I had a friend like me to tell me to calm the F down, Wyatt. So these things can be de-escalated, Mr. Wyatt, bullying. And I'm telling at the highest degree, that's why I'm talking about homicides and murder, because we don't want nobody shooting at people because innocent lives are at risk. And when you do retaliation murder, Wyatt, you don't know if the person you're aiming at is really guilty of what you think they did, sir.
Well,
you do understand, right?
Yeah, but first, let me just for the record tell you that I don't believe in retaliation shooting. Okay, that's not my thing.
That's why I'm talking about it. That's what I just told you, sir. I said I talk about it. I don't believe in it either. I don't believe in murder.
Okay.
So I talk to homicidal people out of the murders. Because we have a lot of victims out here, sir, in Cincinnati.
I got you.
And they look for blood.
Yeah.
So you have to try to de-escalate it, Mr. Wyatt.
Yeah, I agree.
This is how you stop violence.
Well, what would be your recommendation, if I may? What would be your recommendation to stop the violence at the youth football games and the little league football, or not necessarily football, because these things are going on at the basketball games and football games? What would be your recommendation to the community? How can we shut down some of that violence that's going on at the games?
Not some of it, sir. All of it.
Okay,
100%.
How do you shut it down?
Okay, we speak to the youth in unadulterated truth, the way I speak to you on your platform. We don't give them no way around it. You join a gang, you signing up for prison and murder and sexual assault. If that's what you want, join the gang. If not, play football, gentlemen. The guns are for nothing. We don't need guns, Mr. Wyatt. I walk with Jesus. You walk with the worshiper, whoever you prefer to worship. I respect whoever you respect.
My
See
bad.
what I mean?
My bad, y'all.
Mr. Wyatt. So as this is how you stop the violence. You respect everybody's opinions. Whatever Wyatt likes, I'm with it. He's an individual. I'm not going to get mad at Wyatt because he prefers this. But this is what we do. We use, Wyatt like Lil Wayne. F him. I ain't listening to nobody listen to that. We need to de-escalate the violence like this. This is how you stop the violence completely, sir.
Okay.
Do you agree? Do you agree?
I agree on what I understood from you. I get it. I have to agree because your recommendation leans towards stopping the violence. All the shit you just said, I don't know if I agree with it or not.
No guns. What do we need the guns for? You tell me, what do we need the weapons for? Unless it's for homicides.
Yeah, well, weapons are really supposed to be deterrents, right? You're not really supposed to have to shoot a gun. A gun is supposed to just be on you. Look, the reason why police officers carry guns is really for a deterrent. It's supposed to be protection. Versus
we're going to play football, Wyatt. We're playing football. Why do we need guns on the football field?
But wait a minute. I think what you're missing here, CK, it's not the football players that are actually doing the shooting and the bad stuff. It's the adults around the venue. It's the adults that are bringing the kids. Y'all got to understand something. Okay, let me say this, CK. Y'all, we are looking at this as if this is a at the game problem. This is not only at the game. This is a problem they have at practice as well. This is a cultural thing. They're practicing this behavior at football practice. How I know? How many football coaches have been killed in the city of Cincinnati at practice versus at the game?
How many? Tell me.
It's been 2 that I know of.
Oh my God.
Two that I know of.
Condolences.
2 that I know of. And then we've had a lot of instances at the games, outside the gates, in the gates. This is a cultural problem. And it's like anything else. When you practice a behavior, you get good at it. Eventually, you become great if you're good enough. All right.
There you go.
And
there you go. We're practicing de-escalation, sir. Well, we're masters of self-defense. We're practicing de-escalation of problems. So if we have an argument, Wyatt, I don't have to murder you. You have children to look after. You have a wife. I don't want to take you from your family, sir.
Let me say this
it's
to you,
common
CK.
sense.
Let me say this to you, brother. I wish more guys thought like you when it came to that. Because
I can do it. We can do it together. Me and you on this platform. You don't have confidence?
Wait a minute. Whoa. You and I do what?
Stop the violence in Cincinnati.
Bro, I'm doing the best I can. I'm going to sit right here and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You with me?
Zero tolerance. I'm talking about zero. We don't even want to assault. We don't want to attempted murder.
Well,
forget a murder. We don't want nothing.
All right,
let's get money, Wyatt. Let's get money, sir.
I agree, but you got to understand, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it as gently as I possibly can, brother, okay? You're never going to stop that behavior until you openly admit what the real problem is. And for some odd reason, city council members, community leaders, or whoever, they never put the real problem to task. They never bring up the real problem. The only people who say the real shit is us right here, not just Wyatt Live, but the public.
But I'm saying hold on, as a kid,
just the public. We're the only ones that say trifling ass parents, bad parenting, but you'll never see a community leader or a city council person hold parents accountable. It seems to be not something they want to even speak of. It's always, we need better coaches. We need better mentors. We need better this. Well, if you give these people better children, you probably will get more participation in the mentor area. Do you understand what I'm saying? I would know. Look, 15 years ago, I used to sponsor bowls for basketball, for football. I would sponsor that stuff and put my name on it as a company. I can't do that today because if there's a shooting or if something happens, It's bad publicity for my company, and there's liability there as well. Because I put the show on, I put the event on, somebody got shot, somebody got killed. If I didn't, and I might not even be running it. I just might have put the money up to sponsor it. But guess what? When people come down with lawsuits, anybody that's affiliated with it, it's a blanket lawsuit. Everybody's going to be pulled in. I don't want to stand, I can't sustain that risk. So good people run away from situations like that, and who suffers the most? Children.
And hold on, but let's stop right there at the children, sir. I am an influencer such as yourself. We are cut from the same cloth far as our moral fibers, far as wanting good intentions for our community and our people, right? So being an influencer, I can influence the children easy. They're easy. You just have to guide them in the right direction. When I looked at you celebrate higher learning with your family, I didn't see no guns. I didn't see no alcohol. This is what we spread. When I talk to people about
not a good
people
combination.
like you,
CK, bro, I'm at the top, bro. I gotta go. I appreciate it. I gotta go. You know, I gotta go get my daughter, man, and I'm running low on time.
Hey, this was a great combo.
I appreciate you,
we
brother.
just stopping the violence. That's all.
All right, brother. Stop the
violence.
violence. That's CK, man. I'm sorry, bro. I hate to cut you because I was having some other people call, and I just wanted to kind of calm it down a little bit. I don't have time today to really get into every little stroke of the conversation that CK just brought. I appreciate him. I really do. I appreciate his influencer efforts, all that. I got it. I heard it all. But I'm just saying, for the most part, for some odd damn reason, our leaders have a problem saying something. They have a problem saying we need to do something with these parents. Here's what I heard also. I listened to most of the interview with Scotty. I like Scotty. I think he's authentic. I think some of it is really kind of like, I'm going to say what I got to say to get through this type shit. I get it. I understand. But at the same time, Scotty probably would say some, if he wasn't on the radio and he wasn't on making public statements, I'm sure his attitude would be a little bit different than what he actually say. Now, I'm not putting words in his mouth, but the way that black man talk, I hate to say it, the way that man talk, he know the real deal. He know what's really going on. He know that there's some parents that just don't have no engagements in their kids. He know it. And a lot of them know it. They know what we know. And to act that disengaged with the community, yeah, okay. Let's say it's a community, it's a cultural community problem. All right, we all say that. We get that. And then when somebody asked the question about the curfew, I missed that part, but I think they came back and he was like, well, let me address the curfew. It's hard for us to implement what? That's like saying if everybody robbed the bank at the same time, since we don't have enough officers to arrest everybody, then we just not going to go try to arrest anybody for breaking into the bank. So if 200 people run to the bank at one time, we ain't got no chance of catching nobody. We ain't got the manpower for 200 arrests. So let's just go ahead and let them rob the bank and shit. Maybe next time it'll be less of them. Or maybe by the next time they do it again, we'll have more officers on staff. That sounds ridiculous to me. Maybe that's a bad analogy to some people, but for when you tell me that we don't have enough, and what he's saying is true, maybe it's true, but what's not reasonable for me is when you say we don't have enough officers to implement the law. That doesn't make any sense. So they too busy to deal with truant, or not truant, but kids that are over the curfew. They too busy. They don't have the time. What's the process? See what I'm saying? Is the paperwork too long? Then let's change it. Is the punishment not strict enough for the parent? Then let's change it. Let's make it an inconvenience for the parent to come get the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like if the kid is out if the parent is out partying, hey, you only get 2 times at this, Mr. Johnson. And then we come, hey, we're going to start coming to find you when your kid out here. Now we got to make it your problem, not the kid's problem, not the city's problem. It's your problem that your kid is out here past curfew. Why don't we make parents parents again and make them accountable for dropping the ball? What's wrong with that? Let me ask you, if you have a kid at home and you're a reasonable parent, because I don't believe that all kids' parents are bad, that they out here in the streets. You're going to find some of these kids that's out here in the streets and they mama and daddy don't even know they out there. That's the kid where if you don't engage in that kid as a police officer or an authoritarian figure, if you're not engaging in that kid and it's easy to get away with the shit that they getting away with, then that kid gonna end up getting hustled by the streets. That kid gonna end up being out there more and more and more and more, and eventually gonna end up pregnant, gonna end up doing some shit out here that's gonna change their life totally. But what about the kid who parent don't even know he out there? That kid is sleeping over Ronnie house, and his parent don't know that Ronnie parents ain't shit, and they out there playing. Now you got a kid that you can go to the parents' house and say, hey, your little kid been out here messing around past curfew. That parent don't know that Ronnie parents ain't keeping up. So now that kid can't go over Ronnie's no more because Ronnie about to F up that little kid's life because his parents don't care. And we all been there. We all been there. We all had one friend who we could go hang out their house. They mamas and shit ain't nothing. And we can stay out all night. We can do whatever the F we want to do. We ain't got to be in at no particular time. He got a key and we can get in at 4 o'clock in the morning if we wanted to. I can't do that at my house. But if we out at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, shit, I'm supposed to be at, I can't do that where I live, not in my mama house, but I'm over Ronnie's house and I can hang all night. I could be a street dude for the night and get caught up in some street shit. So if I'm out at 2 o'clock in the morning and I ain't got no business out because I'm avoiding curfew or I'm going past curfew, why shouldn't the police be able to detain me and not take me to Ronnie's house? Call my mama, and my mama she gonna be shocked. But it could change my life. Now the police just told my mama, look, Wyatt out here at 2 o'clock in the morning. Come get your son. My mama gonna be like, oh, you can't mess with Ronnie no more. You can't be in them groups no more. What do most mamas say when they picking their kids up from 2020, or they kicking, or the kid get caught stealing, or he running around in circles? What do parents always say? It ain't never they baby. They always say, I told you about hanging around them. I told you about hanging around them people. Them boys ain't doing nothing with their life. It's always, that's the go-to card. It's always that same shit. I told you about hanging around them type of people. I told you about doing this. I told you. Well, if the mama don't even know in some cases, or the daddy don't know because they hanging around somebody that's cool or good with the family or something, you know, now the police, if there ain't no curfew out there, this parent might not ever know what I'm out here doing. It's a curfew, but if they not pursuing it. And I just thought it was not a very good excuse to say we don't have the manpower. Because let me just say, do you have the manpower to stop 200 people from robbing the bank at the same time? You're going to cut the lights on and you're going to come in there aggressive and you're going to stop every bank robber. You're going to grab a few of them 200 with the staff that you have. So get at it. I don't see any difference. So one is an armed robbery, okay. One is a current armed robbery. One you might stop from being an armed robber. Because I'm going to tell you something. I lost some friends out here growing up who had some pretty good mamas who were strict on them and all of that. Mama couldn't keep up, didn't have no daddy. Mama couldn't keep up with them, this and this and this and that. The more they got away with, the more they used to do. The more they used to do, the more severe the crimes were. The more severe the crimes were, the more time they was facing, or the chance of death. And that's what happens. And then you got these guys at the football games, the mentors, the OGs, the guys that these other young dudes look up to, and they out at the park smoking weed. They smoking weed, shooting dice, and doing all that old shit at the football games, not to mention at practice. It's just a bad combination of bad culture. And then your leadership don't want to hold those people right there responsible for producing the next level of them, of those parents. That's what they raising. They are raising who they are. I'm sorry. I'm going to be the only one, and I'm going to get the blowback. But I'm the only one that's been saying this for 5 years on this platform. Every time we get a situation like this, I'm the only one that say, we all say it's parents, but this is us. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about the leaders. There was an opportunity for someone to speak up and say, well, our parents are at these games and the mamas are blazing up with the daddies and they out there playing, the boyfriends and the fake ass stepdaddy and all this old shit out there talking about that's my boy and this and old shit. They drinking and smoking and all this old shit. And ain't nobody saying it's the parents. Let me just say this to you. Ain't no random dude coming in off the street to see some kids he don't know nothing about and placing a $4,000 bet. That's a person that has he's familiar with people there. He know them. He probably been at practice. He know who gonna bet 4,000 and not know what they betting on. Come on, man, stop playing. Y'all, man, stop playing. And then we let that shit ride like that ain't the major problem. And like what Fame said, man, you can't, how you gonna discipline these kids the way that they've been talked to all day? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't fuss and cuss. That's why I don't like whoopings. Because you teaching a kid to be aggressive with aggression. You using aggression to beat the shit out of a kid, thinking that that's going to make that kid not do the same shit when it's time for him to solve a problem. I just don't get it, man. It's just some slave shit to me. That's just me. Somebody going to think I'm crazy and, oh, there you go. But it's the truth, bro. How were most people disciplined back in the day? I ain't talking about our days. I'm talking about how did you keep certain people in order? You beat the shit out of them and you make them afraid and scared. You use violence. I don't agree with that. And you wonder why these kids punching each other, stealing on each other, stabbing each other, shooting at each other, when that's what they looking up to. And if you think it's any different, yeah, that's right. Donna said mama at the car twerking. Yeah, they got the music up loud in the parking lot. They not having no tailgate. They having a twerk gate. It's crazy, bro. The shit that I be seeing these parents do. I see parents that's trying to be just like they 15-year-old and 14-year-old daughters, man. They want to be cool with the tattoos and the piercings and all the shit that these kids are getting. Mama's still trying to play them games. Daddies still trying to wear baggy pants and look like the kids of today. I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on, bro? You done sold this bad culture to a bunch of people, and like, we justify it as adults. We try to make it seem like it's still cool when in fact we know the punishments of that behavior. We know that type of stuff don't get you nowhere. I went to a pizza joint yesterday. My wife and I, this is it. I'm going to close it out on this. My wife and I went to a pizza joint. I don't want to mention it because for liability reasons. I walk in and I do a personal pizza that you can make your own, right? It's a build your own, so to say. Oven, what do they call those, brick oven place? Really good pizza, all right? We go in there and this little girl, little white girl, if you care to know, she got tattoos all down her arm, all over, all on her neck, all on her face, all type of shit. She got her hair braided. She got tattoos all through the braids. I'm looking at her like, oh shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I'm looking at her like, man, she got nail polish on, and y'all know what that scraped off nail polish look like. When it's half on, half off, look like, it ain't designed like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just come from too much and not getting your shit done. But anyway, she picks up my pizza on the little thing to make my pizza. And she got one glove on and one bare hand. And the bare hand is holding the plate itself with the pizza on it. And she's using the hand with the glove on it to make the pizza and put the stuff on the pizza, right? And I'm looking at her, but then I'm looking at the girl next to her who got on two gloves. and fixing pizzas for the person standing next to me. So I look at the young lady. Now, keep in mind, she looked like some shit out of a movie with like a movie that got tattoos and dragons and shit all on the side of her face. I really don't want her messing with my food. I really don't. I look at her and she got one glove on, and I asked her, I said, young lady, because she's a young lady, she couldn't be no more than 20, 19, 20. I said, young lady, can you put another glove on for me? I said it respectfully. I didn't say it the way I wanted to say it. You know what I'm saying? I really wanted to be on that one shit, but I didn't. I was very respectful. I was being an elder. I said, young lady, if you don't mind, could you put another glove on? Because, you know what I'm saying? She said, well, I can't put another glove on because it's slippery on the plate thing and blah, blah, blah. She had all these excuses, not to mention she's speaking over my food at this point. That didn't require an answer. That required an action. Just put a glove on. I don't need no complicated. And so I say to her, after she said what she said, I looked at her, I said, young lady, that young lady over there next to you got on 2 gloves. If she can hold it with gloves on, you can hold it with gloves on. Now I'm starting to get that one kind of way. Well, you can have her make it. I said, you know what? You absolutely right. You absolutely right. And I'm like, where is this energy coming from? Where is this energy from these young kids? It ain't just black kids. It ain't just white kids. It's kids. Where is this energy coming from that y'all totally disrespect your elders? And you know what gives them the reason, you know what gives them the energy to be able to disrespect us? Because elders disrespect them. They have not been taught any manners. They have not been taught any respect. It is not their fault that they have not learned. Now, I could be wrong, but that little girl was not talking to me like she's ever had any home training in her life. I could look at you and tell you ain't had no home training. But at the same time, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt by making a small request of putting a glove on. Please. I got to get all this lip. I'm a customer. I'm a customer. And I'm saying to myself, I could tell what type of music she listened to. You could tell because of the type of tattoos and stuff. It's all in the rap game. Y'all know it's just because she white don't mean that, she ain't into the same cultural stuff that everybody else is in that got that attitude. Your hair braided. How many rock people? I know what you into. I could tell. That's why I came at you the right way. I came at you like, I wasn't all like, oh, get your motherfucking girl. I came at you with a respectable manner as an elder, young lady. And here we live in a world where you got to be careful. I can't say young lady, young man. I can't say none of that shit in the world today, because I might be calling them something they don't think they are. That's another day. That's another conversation for another day. Even my kids check me on that. Daddy, stop saying young lady, stop saying young man. You don't know. And they caught me one day because me and my family, me and my daughters, I shouldn't say this one, but I am. We went into this place called Ultra. My daughters like to go into this little place called Ultra. It's a skin and makeup and, hair place or whatever. They sell a lot. Y'all know what Ultra is. Some do. And we go in there and we stay in for a while. And I'm learning different things in there. And they do makeup and stuff while you wait. You do your hair, all that old shit. It's a girly store, okay? So I'm in there. They sell some colognes. I'm smelling some colognes. Ultra. Thank you, Sierra. And I go to the checkout line with my kids and my wife. We get to the checkout line. How do I say this the best way? Now, y'all know I'm one of those type of people. I say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, to everybody, or young lady or young man. I'm respectful like that. And that shit is played out. Obviously. I get to the register, pull my credit card out to pay for my kids' stuff, and I look up. I don't know what it was. This motherfucker had a beard, a hairdo, makeup on, a dress, tats on his fingers and shit. I didn't know to say young man, young lady. I didn't know what to say. So that's what put me on track of what my daughters and them be talking about. I was like, I don't know. And unfortunately, I made the mistake of saying, thank you, young man. I just do that shit. Like, I put my card in, paid for the shit, said no cash back, signed my thing, and I said, thank you, young man, without even looking up. Just thank you, young man. And as walking out, I got a verbal abuse attack from my kids. See, Daddy, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, it's not my fault. I know what the fuck that is. That's a little boy. I'm going to say young man. Well, you can't be that disrespectful. All right, I didn't know it was that serious, but I'm just saying. He got a beard. He got a whole beard. His beard more filled in than mine. This dude had a full, solid beard. Another story, then I'm going to let y'all go. I promise it's a hell of a lot shorter than that. For Christmas, my wife got me my favorite cologne. For those that need to know, it's Yves Saint Laurent. She got me my favorite, one of my favorite. It's not the favorite. I ain't going to tell you what my favorite is because y'all going to think I'm bougie. But she got me my Yves Saint Laurent. I walked in to this shoe store. I believe it was called Journeys during Christmas. And we were returning some shoes that I got my daughter that was too small over in Oakley in Cincinnati. We walk in Journeys, and when I walk in there, the guy behind the counter says, "Ooh wee! Somebody got on that Yves Saint Laurent, and it smelled delicious." I'm a grown-ass man. And I look at this little dude, and I'm like, I can't stand it, y'all. Like, it's just certain shit I can't deal with that. Like, how do you show diplomacy in a world like today when you know better? And I know some of y'all don't find that funny, but I have daughters and I get checked on how I do things, and how I do things is old school and traditional. It's very respectful, and some of my respectful ways turn out to be disrespectful to some people. And I just don't understand that. But what's funny to me is how when someone could be so respectful to people, and now I get so much blowback for showing love and respect, and it turns out to be derogatory. But yet when people are derogatory and nasty and disrespectful, nobody ever checks that. I don't get it. We live in a backwards world right now, and it's a little disgusting. That's my time. Peace and love to everybody, man. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm going to get my baby. I'm on my way to the airport. Peace and love. Love.
Boy. Hey, shooting my shot like, hey, hit the red dot like, hey, finger on the trigger like, hey, shooting my shot like, hey, hit the red dot like, hey, hitting her spot like, hey, I gotta get it, man. Shout out, I hit it. I'm fully committed like, hey, I studied the target. I'm never gonna miss it. I call that precision like, hey, shooting my shot like, hey, hit the red dot like, hey, finger on the trigger like, hey. Grandma was in A, auntie was in it, A, mama had AAA. I wasn't scared to crash anyone anyway. I ride a shotty while bro had a shotty like we in the getaway. I gotta penetrate, I gotta generate. I got like 20 some years to my hood, now I gotta go live away. I'm out of town, but I'm not on the getaway. I spin a giveaway. Fuck you mean, I'm the generous king for real. I fuck her to sleep, then I light up the street. Got her screaming like Billie Jean for real. I'm from the M, I got M's in the bank and M's in all my streams for real. Feeling like Phil, they be living like Carlton if I leave him in the wheel. Shooting my shot like, ayy, hit the red dot like, ayy, finger on the trigger like, ayy, shooting my shot like, ayy, hit the red dot like, ayy, hitting her spot like, ayy. I gotta get it, man. Shout out, I hit it. I'm fully committed like, hey. I studied the target. I'm never gonna miss it. I call that precision like, hey. Shooting my shot like, hey. Hit the red dot like, hey. Finger on the trigger like, hey. Baby, I'm loving the taste. I think I'm ready for kids. She said when it stop trying to come in her face. That makes sense. I'm going up past LA Brent. I'm going off no fail, say switch. Yeah, me and my team go back like plastic cup boys on some tailgate shit. Okay, hold, look. All eyes on me, ho. I feel like I'm Truman. No, we finna win it, cause I'm about to lose it. I don't give a fuck what computers disputing. I go off a field, no heads, he just shooting. I die for my team, I'm the coach, I'm recruiting. I'm spending my time and I'm saving the day, ho. I feel like a mutant. I'm built like a student. I'm feeling bilingual, cause I'm in Nigeria, rocking the Cuban, smoking on Cubans. My life is a highlight reel that I keep on looping. You can't just tell me shit, ho. You gotta prove it. These niggas stealing, their first name is Lupin. I'm hitting harder than bitch, I uke. And they sending shots, but I'm high, just juking. Hitting my dance, motherfucker, I'm B.I.G. You know I can't forget that I do it. Shooting my shot like, ayy. Hit the red dot like, ayy. Finger on the trigger like, ayy, 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 ayy. Shooting my shot like, ayy. Hit the red dot like, ayy. Hitting her spot like, ayy, 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 ayy. I gotta get it, man. Shout out, I hit it. I'm fully committed like, ayy. I studied the target, I'm never gonna miss it. I call that precision like, ayy. Shooting my shot like, ayy. Hit the red dot like, ayy. Finger on the trigger like, ayy, 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 ayy.